Mr. Gheorghiu, we have here a game against Levente Lengyel.
Da, Levente Lengyel was the third very strong player from Hungary, and he was opposed to me in that game, and the game was very important because he played the special variation from the Hungarian players in the Spanish opening. You'll see.
Okay.
What happened? E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6, bishop E5, A6, bishop A4, knight F6, castle, bishop E7, rook E1, B5.
So far,
Everything
theory.
is here, yes. D6, C3, and castle, and now H3. And now, indeed, in this moment, black can play, a few moves. Knight A5 is the main variation, bishop C2, C5. This is the main variation from Spanish.
Yes.
Instead of this, black can also play H6, rook E8, bishop B7, a lot of moves. And the move from our game, knight B8. It is a so-called Breyer variation. Is a specialty of the Hungarian players from that time. It was very popular.
Okay, so this retreat of the knight
yes,
is...
the retreat of the knight. He tries to put the knight to replace the knight from C6 in D7 in another position, and had an open diagonal for the bishop from B7 or from D7. This is the idea. And D3, okay, this was our novel, so-called novelty in this complicated variation. I played this together with my teammate Cioculta, the late grandmaster. We were very good friends, and we analyzed this very well for white. And we had a lot of good games and a lot of victories with this modest move, let's say, D3. But you see, the move is very interesting, and the variations are very complicated for both, for white and for black. D3, knight D7, knight D2, bishop B7, bishop C2. White prepares to play D4. I mean, it's almost the same idea as in the normal line, but white plays a little bit later D4, not immediately. This is the idea. It gives black possibility to find a new move or a new way of playing, and instead of having immediately the pawn on D4, you can play D4 when you like it, later on. Yeah. Bishop C2, C5, knight F1, rook E8, knight G3, A6, and now bishop G5, okay, knight F8, and now D4. Now it's very good. Now it's very good. Why? Because you attack twice on E5. Black has to try to play, the normal line here, because you want already to take in E5 and win a pawn.
So he has to...
He has to move, the order of moves must be very good for black. If he makes a small mistake, it's already very difficult for black. Knight E6. Of course, now you cannot take in E5 because it's not good. If you take in F6, black is all right because he defended
with his
immediately with his bishop on E5. Yeah. So now you play bishop H6. Yes, queen C7. And now you have to make a decision for white, what to play. You continue with the same idea as before, rook C1 or D takes C5 or queen E2 or queen D2, or you play like in our game, D5. If you play D5, it seems that you close the position, but it's not like that. You close for the moment. You play D5, you have now a small advantage because you force the knight to retreat in G7, for instance. And now, for the moment, the bishop from B7 doesn't play too much, not like in the usual lines. And white is better in this position. Knight G7, knight H2. This is a very important decision. Later on, white tries to play G4. We'll see.
So you try to focus on the king side.
On the king side, yes. So you see, therefore the game is very interesting because first of all you try to do something in the center. You have a small advantage in the center. Now you have some advantage on the king side, and finally you try to open on the king side, you see, and have some very good attacking chances against the black king. Queen d2, c4, yes, normal move. I mean, he has to do something on the queen side to stabilize the queen side, first of all.
So just to avoid any surprise
Yeah,
check?
white was threatening also to play a4 or b4 later on to have advantage also here, you know, on both sides, you know. So at least c4 blocks the idea on the queen side. You know.
Okay, and the
King
move of the
h1
king?
prepares, yeah, king h1 prepares the later, you know, the later idea to play g2, g4 with very good attacking chances against the black king. So he reacts immediately by playing knight h5 because he wants to do something, you know, himself on the king side. You know, he's threatening now the knight from g3. He has the control over f4, which is important, and threatens to play himself, if possible, the move, you know, seemingly very good, f7, f5. Okay, now knight e2, again a very good move. You don't take in h5, of course. After, if you take in h5, you have very little game. You know, no advantage at all for white. But now you threaten already to play in very good conditions g4, which gives advantage, clear advantage for white. You know. So what can he do? f5, no? f5, and now in the right moment you react by playing g4. Of course, he has to take in g4, because if he goes back to f6, first of all, you can win at least a pawn in f5, and you can also open the g file, and it's probably finished for black. You know, I mean, if he goes back with the knight in f6, I mean, you have this possibility. So he took in g4, and now take in g4, and back knight f6, of course. Rook g1. Oh, everything is prepared. You know. Now you prepared the attacking move f4, and you have also the other idea to play immediately g5, if possible. No? So here rook f8 probably was not the best move. In my opinion, the best move was to wait by playing immediately knight d7. Why? Because after knight d7, you have time to react very quickly by putting a knight on e5 with good chance to, you know, to resist maybe, you know. But after knight rook f8, everything is forced now. You'll see. f4, you open the game. He has to take. Knight takes. Now you are threatening. In every position, you are threatening something. You'll see. Rook f7. He waits also. I mean, there's no other move. No? Rook f. The last piece is coming, you know, on the king side. White has clear advantage. All his pieces are there, you know, of course. White is much better. Huh? And now, this is, well, let's say a small surprise, but it's a very normal move because you give the good bishop on g7, but you have the possibility to put immediately a knight in e6 with clear advantage. See? So he has to take back, of course. Now g5, of course. Now, the only good move, knight h5, even it seems that you have some trouble if white takes in h5, but he doesn't take. He plays much better knight e6. Now it's forced. You have to take in c6 because otherwise you lose at least the exchange, you know.
So now it's good because...
Now it's very good for white because you have time to come very quickly on the king side. You are threatening already knight h2 to g4 and knight h6 check with very, very strong attack. Almost decisive, you know. So probably from this position, white has a much better game. Black is trying to defend by unique moves, but it's too late. You'll see. Knight g4. The idea is very clear. No? Rook f8. Check.
The idea is to bring
to bring the knight to h6 and then to eliminate the knight from h5, which is the last defender of the black position. You'll see. Knight check and h6. King h8, yes, check. king j8. And now, the decisive move, bishop c2 to d1. You have to trade the knight from h7, and then you see the difference. All white pieces are there, attacking. The knight from f7 is very, very strong, and the bishop from e7 does nothing, The position is finished for black, black is lost. Yeah. So now you have to realize the advantage. You have to see how you can win. You take, of course. Rook f5, queen c6, and now queen d4. You centralize the queen. Everything is prepared for the final attack, Black is, is hopeless.
Waiting.
And it's, well, he's waiting, but now we have another terrible threat. You have now knight h5, knight h6 check, and rook f7. And in this position, you are threatening also the decisive move g6, And when you take in g6, rook takes g6, you can't take back because mate in h8. You have all these possibilities,
So many threats. This is why
Now,
he takes the.
why he has to give the exchange? Yeah, he has to give the only possibility. Now you take rook, king f8, the only move, and now g6, decisive, and black resign. Now again, the same idea. When he takes in g6 with the pawn, rook takes g6, rook takes g6, queen h8, mate.
So rook takes g6, rook
takes, and queen h8, mate.
Yes.
Yeah. So very beautiful game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah. So you see, the modest move d3, he realized a very, very nice game. And finally, everybody understood that the game was not as quiet as it seemed, It was very dangerous for black. And again, the idea was to prepare a very strong initiative on the king's side, and it was very important game theoretically in that period, of course. Yeah. And
because
the prior
it proves this idea of developing a strong
yes,
initiative on the king's side.
Yes, on the king's side, of course. Yes.
All right.